when these great warriors gathered for Game 1 2003, it wasn't just to write history, but to challenge it, to create, to conquer.
So there's the kickoff, and what a pace on the kickoff. Ricky is hammered.
I think it's the greatest Origin game that I've ever seen. Certainly the best quality and the toughest.
De Vera striding out, a 30-metre run, make it 40 metres. What is running? That is a great back tackle. Now Whipkey. Oh, a clash between Ricketson and Whipkey. Then Johns goes out wide. Minicello is in.
It's easy to show mateship at the start of the game or before the game, but at the back end, you know, when your lungs are screaming and your legs are aching and, you know, it still has to get done, that's when that commitment to each other and that mateship is very, very important.
To Johns, he'll score. The captain is in. Andrew Johns scores.
Well, that's the things you remember in your footy career. You remember the big games. You remember the state of origins. They're the things that are going to stand out when you finish.
And you hate losing it any week, but I think a state of origin game is something that really hurts you deep inside. You don't want to look back on your origin career and say, well, this night I let Queensland down.
Attrition, adversity.
This is Bowman again getting in the way of the attackers. He's gutsing it out.
The closest man can come to war without being conscripted. Traditionally, this is where Wayne Bennett's Maroons are most dangerous. One down, but far from out.
Tell us, goes for it. They can't stop it.
This is a time of the year where you just want to win, and coming second doesn't really enter anybody's mind.
I think state of origin's the pinnacle of our game. If you do captain the winning series, it's something no one can ever take from you, and something that I'd absolutely love to do before I finish.
Now, the duel and the dance continues. New South Wales versus Queensland in Game 2 of the Harvey Norman State of Origin Series. Live on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Telstra Stadium, Sydney, home of the 2000 Olympic Games, and ablaze again with great expectation tonight. For the next 3 hours, this stadium is the focus of the rugby league world. 80,000 people, every ticket sold, are gathering here for the battle that will be and is Origin 2. Good evening and welcome to Nine's live and exclusive coverage of the 2003 State of Origin Series. New South Wales versus Queensland, with the Maroons back as underdogs, a role they somehow relish, having crashed at home at Suncorp Stadium to the bloodied and staple Blues in Game 1. 67 Origin games have been played since 1980. Queensland have won 33. There's been 2 draws, and New South Wales have won 32. Can the Blues even the all-time scoreboard and wrap up the 2003 series here tonight on this stage for Aussie heroes? From Big Artie Beechin and Mick Cronin to the King Wally Lewis and Brett Kenny, tonight it's Andrew Johns and Gordon Tallis carrying on the tradition. New South Wales versus Queensland, the State of Origin, Game 2. And who do I think will win? Well, I'm with the guys in blue. But let's hear what the experts have to say. Your commentary team is headed by Peter Sterling.
It's certainly a hard act to follow, and tonight is about stars. 34 of our own will do battle in just under half an hour. A full crowd here at Telstra Stadium this evening, 80,000, many still streaming in, and they will be here before kick-off for this great clash. It's always a pivotal game, a chance for the Blues tonight to wrap it up. Queensland hoping to force a decider. Thank you once again for joining us, and that is extended to my panellists tonight. 3 men who carved their own niche in Origin history: Kevin Walters, Paul Wharton and Ricky Stewart. Good evening, guys.
Hello, Pete.
Now, Kev, Queensland have been here before. They know what to do. What are you expecting from them?
Still, I'm expecting them to bounce back tonight. Queensland love the underdog status. They've come down to Sydney, a big crowd here, all booing them. I'm expecting them to bounce back and bounce back well.
Fatty, what do they need to do to win tonight?
I think they've got to improve their defence first up. You know, incredibly, Pete, in that first match, Queensland missed 65 tackles. That's unheard of as far as Queensland defence is concerned. And they must realise tonight, these 17 individuals, they have to dig deeper than ever before. We do love the underdog tag. We thrive on that. You watch us go tonight, Pete.
Sounds confident, Ricky. Some criticism early this week from Wayne Bennett saying that the conditions here were very greasy. We've had rain today. Do the conditions play a role?
I think they do, especially with Andrew Johns' kicking game. He plays, passing game. He plays very expansive. It'll be interesting to see if he goes that way early in the piece.
Well, we know that Origin has never been about friends, and just have a look at this well-respected Channel 9 commentator undergoing his role as media manager for the Queensland State of Origin team. He's got the chair out, and at least he undergoes this with a smile on his face. I'm sure it's a face that you do know very, very well. I am confident we will get into the Queensland sheds a little bit later. No problems next door. In fact, Matthew Johns has already made his way down into the Blues camp.
We're back in the New South Wales shed for Origin 2. They were relaxed and focused in game 1. See how they're going. Skipper Andrew Johns, centrepiece of the attack. Tamana Tahu, Phil Bailey. Great debut. Jason Riles there. A little apprehensive. That's a good sign. Ben Kenny. Always relaxed. Matty Gidley getting himself ready. He was sensational in the centres for game 1. New South Wales hope he can do it again. Anthony Minicello getting a rub. He was one of the keys for New South Wales in their first win. Fitzgibbon. I bet that the Queensland forward is going to test out that hour tonight. It's a brave effort. Sean Timmins. He was great at 5'8". His running game and the stability he gives to number 6 was a feature. He's going to have a talk to Luke Ricketson. Rico, this is Origin 9 for you. How are the nerves?
Yeah, obviously a bit nervous. Big lead up to game 1, and we've got a huge performance here to win tonight. So looking forward to it.
What about the conditions? They're a little wet and slippery. In contrast to game 1, how are the Blues going to adjust to that?
Yeah, obviously if we just kick and chase well, I think a big plus to our game. Ball security is also another important thing. So, if we just do our jobs well, then obviously we can come away with a win.
Good on you, Rico. Wish you all the best, mate.
Appreciate it.
He was one of many superb performances for New South Wales just a fortnight ago. Expect the same kind of performance tonight. Let's have a look at the New South Wales 17. One change, Josh Perry is out suspended. Anthony Minicello is the fullback, a great debut, including 2 tries in game 1. Tamana Tahu, Michael DeVere on the flanks. Matt Gidley is one centre. Jamie Lyon had a hamstring problem, but he is okay to take his spot as the other centre. Sean Timmins certainly justified his selection in game 1 as the 5'8", and he again is outside the captain and the halfback, Andrew Johns, and a front 6 of Luke Ricketson at lock, Craig Fitzgibbon and Ben Kennedy. Fitzgibbon will play with a fractured eye socket, and the front row of Robbie Kearns, Danny Badiris and Jason Riles. Coming off the bench tonight, Luke Bailey, he was our man of the match in game 1, Craig Wing in jersey 15. The new man for Josh Perry is Brian Fletcher. He has 12 Origins under his belt, and in 17, Phil Bailey, their coach, Phil Gould. And Ricky Stewart, I pointed out that Craig Fitzgibbon tonight will play with injury, fractured eye socket, but obviously he wouldn't be playing unless he was confident he can fully contribute.
No, he's confident with the injury, Sterlo, but he's also a player that can play with injury, as a number of players are out there and who play this type of football. It's a tough game and it's made for tough men, and he's certainly one of those people. Fitzgibbon had 100 metres in the first game. Very important, very valuable. Luke Bailey, plenty of impact in him. A player who will have to concentrate on ball security early in the piece. There'll be plenty of collisions in this game.
Luke Ricketson played all but 8 minutes in the first game, and he's the kind of player that every side needs.
So much work ethic in his tackles, 51 tackles. Tidies up so much Queensland attack. And Brian Fletcher, Gus's go-to man, mate. Watch a lot of second phase football. Minicello, Badiris, Wing following Brian Fletcher. Second phase play from Brian. He's very good at it.
Are you expecting Phil Gould to use Craig Wing and Sean Timmins the same way that he did in game 1?
I am. I think Phil will use him at 5'8" and also hooker. He's going to be an instrumental part in tonight's game.
Okay, well, Origin has always been about emotion and passion. This was probably best illustrated by this man back in 1985.
New South Wales trying to clinch this series for the first time since the State of Origin began.
We have the opportunity to create history, and I'll never forget saying to the boys that not many of you guys are ever going to win a premiership, but here's an opportunity for all to win the ultimate premiership. We got to the front, and then Queensland came back in true Queensland fashion, and they hit the front. I just said we've got to be patient, we've got to back ourselves, we've got to believe in ourselves and take opportunities, and there were opportunities there. When we put that ball down, I went down to the ground, I kissed the grass, and Blocker just picked me up like a little baby, and I said to him, we've won this, we've created history.
And there it is! There it is!
We did a Queensland on the Queensland, we were close, we were mates. And that was the ultimate element in victory for New South Wales.
Pre-match entertainment continues as the crowd swells to the target of 80,000. And a venue that has not been good for Queensland. They've played here 6 times, yet to record a complete victory with 5 losses and a draw. Again tonight, it is all or nothing. Let's go down to Tim Gilbert, who is with the Queenslanders.
Well, here we are at a sacred place, Wayne Bennett's Queensland dressing room. Shh, we may get in trouble. Let's go and have a look. Well, we'll know within 2 hours whether or not this will be a triumphant return to Queensland. The boys are all getting prepared. Matty Singh, Matty Bowen over there. All the boys looking tense. Everyone's got their own preparation. There's Coach Wayne Bennett, of course. He's focused. They want to win tonight. Choppy close, always with a laugh here in the Queensland sheds. Up there on the bench, we've got Shane Webke. Plenty of tension. You could hear a pin drop in here. Andrew G. There is Scotty Sattler, 31 years of age. This will be the biggest game of his career so far, and he's fired up for it. Steve Walters. Steve, mate, you've been here before. What are these players thinking?
Oh, like everyone, mate, they're a little bit edgy, a bit nervous, but everything's going well. Just looking forward to the game.
It's been a good preparation.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys crook earlier in the week and a few little injury problems, but everyone's okay now.
No more words needed. Thanks very much, Steve. They came here for 1-1. Gordon Tallis, thank you very much. They came here for 1-1, desperate for 1-1. The Queenslanders are ready to play, Pete. They're ready to play.
Thanks very much, Timmy. I think the Queensland side looks pretty relaxed in that dressing room. They know what's ahead of them. They know the job at hand. Let's have a look at their line-up tonight. Some changes from the very first game this year. At fullback, Darren Lockyer. Matt Singh, Queensland's most capped Origin player tonight with 16. Shannon Hegarty on the other wing. The centres tonight, Brent Tate and Tony Carroll moves from lock forward spot out into the centres for this game tonight. Ben Eichert at 5'8". Thought he played pretty well in that first match. Sean Berrigan probably needs to lift. He needs to get behind his forward pack and urge them on and control the ruck around the half area. Gordon Tallis, Sivan Asiva in the back row. Now Dane Carler off the bench into the lock forward spot. This makes it a massive Queensland pack and forth with Shane Webke, Mick Crocker making his debut, and Stephen Price in the prop forward role as well. The replacements tonight, Travis Norton onto the bench, Andrew G, the veteran, 33 years of age, still going around. And the other two interchange players, Scott Sattler, 31 years of age, makes his debut. Good on you, Scotty. And Matt Bowen, a youngster from North Queensland as well, coached by Wayne Bennett. Now, Kevin Walters, who do you see as being the people who can get Queensland home tonight?
Well, I'll start at the back again, Fatty. Of course, Darren Lockyer is a real key in this Queensland lineup. He's got to get his hands on the ball as much as he can to get that ball over the line for Queensland. That's his stats from the first game. You see 15 runs, 1 try and 1 line break. He'll be thereabouts tonight if Queensland are going to do well. Gordon Tallis is a real feature in the Queensland forward pack. He hasn't played for 14 days, Gordon, so he'll be the freshest player on the field. Look out, New South Wales.
Kev, I thought Sean Berrigan was a little bit quiet in game 1, but against Canberra a couple of days later was dynamic.
Yeah, he's in good form again, found himself in good form against Canberra. He'll be running the ball more tonight for Queensland and probing around the New South Wales ruck.
And Matty Bowen might be used a la Craig Wing off the bench.
Yeah, very important interchange. Mango, they call him from up north up there. He's a speedster for Queensland. Look for Wayne Bennett to use him in the fullback role. It's shifting, maybe possibly, Darren Lockyer to 5'8".
Is it loud enough for you guys up here?
Sorry?
Can't hear you. The changes in there, what do you think that offers? Travis Norton, Matthew Bowen. Bowen one-on-one's electrifying, but I think Norton is a very significant selection.
He'll be very good off the bench, and I think what they've done with Dane Carlo, it's a massive Queensland pack, probably the biggest in history. Obviously, Wayne Bennett's tactics very clear. They're going to take them on early, right up the centre of the ruck.
Mick Crocker, a different style of hooker to PJ Marshall. He probably won't be the man to be darting too quickly out of dummy half.
No, but very much suited to the Origin football. He's a tremendous defender, a rugged sort of player, and of course he's got red hair as well, Fatty. Can't go wrong with that, can you?
Can't go wrong with that. Obviously a champion. You know, I think that the expansive game, Ricky, of New South Wales might struggle. We saw in the first game they spread it around quite a bit. Slippery field, touch of rain about.
Look, buddy, I like to see the ball being played inside a fair bit tonight, especially early in the piece. With the wet conditions and greasy football, you don't want to be turning over too much ball to the opposition. The teams that can complete their sets of 6 the most are going to be the team that's probably got the success at the back end of the match.
Well, Queensland undoubtedly do face adversity tonight. The very fact that it is do or die. If they're looking for inspiration, they need only look at this Maroon performance in the late 80s.
That Wally Lewis. Have a listen to the crowd booing Wally.
Guts, glory and determination have won a lot of games for Queensland in the past, but I don't think there's ever been a display like the one in 1989, Game 2. The injury toll in that game was absolutely shocking.
Langer's coming up in
but it looks like Meninga might be off for the night.
So the Queenslanders a bit battered and bruised at the moment.
Yeah, by half-time we'd lost Alf and Mel. Fatty was a goner as well, and Arthur Beetson almost had tears in his eyes, so we knew that we were in great strife. We started to try and inspire each other with the Queenslander chant.
It's a Maroon side! Yes!
Yeah, 20 minutes to go, it was 12-6. The match is still anybody's. You know that we've got no fresh reserves left, and the guys were absolutely out on their feet. And Bobby Lindner stayed on the field with a broken leg, and it was one of the gutsiest performances I think I've ever seen. We weren't going to give up at that stage.
Pace, but here's Wally Lewis with a stolen ball now. Lewis makes his way upfield. He's got some pace. Lewis, can he go all the way? Still down, he does wrong. Wally Lewis has gone in, and look at this. Wow!
John has scored, and New South Wales are back in the ball game. They've called for a stretcher for Bob Linder. So the Maroons are going to come down the home stretch with 12 men.
12 against 13 was going to take some wonderful courage. New South Wales absolutely hammered us, but we thought that we'd shown too much courage previously to give up.
Siren sounds in the background. Queensland winning the second state of origin.
It was a magnificent performance from Queensland, and I still think it was Queensland's most wonderful victory.
Classic all across the Hunter today. They will get a little heavier tomorrow, intending to rain period.
Difficult time for the players. The wait is almost over, but not quite. And there you see the Queensland players going through their tackling drills, just getting the body ready for what's going to be some big collisions early in this game.
Absolutely, always working on the shoulders, making sure that they can do the job out there tonight. Personally, I didn't do a lot of this when I played. I used to just relax in the corner and gather my thoughts. It's mainly a mind game out there tonight.
Kev, we see Tony Carroll there. They could have gone for other options in the centres, and they brought Dane Carlaw, who's a runner, not a ball player. Does that tell us the way that they're going to play this first 20 minutes?
Most definitely. Very rugged opening, I believe. Tony Carroll is out wide, a little bit wider with his defensive. He will stop New South Wales out wide. They've got to stop them coming down the ruck as well. They've got a massive forward pack, as Fatty has led us into on. It's going to be rough and tumble out there for the opening 20 minutes.
And Ricky, Darren Lockyer, we had a little bit of a doubt with the ankle, but he's the key man. Do you think that he will pepper Anthony Minicello, who was very cautious 2 weeks ago?
Absolutely. I think you have to with any fullback. And in these conditions tonight, the ball will skittle on off the grass. So I think Anthony and Darren himself will have to give themselves probably 15 metres extra at the back there to cover that ball, because it will get extra distance.
And there you can see the New South Wales players going through exactly the same kind of drill. So important that they are ready to go. We saw from the kick-off in game number 1, the collision. Shane Webke took it. Danny Medeiros bounced off. There was 4 into the tackle.
No one else apart from Shane Webke would have got back into the field of play. He's that good a player. Andrew Johns looks fired up, and I think his kicking game, even more so tonight on a greasy pitch, comes into fray, because he's got this ability to put the ball in the in goal, and on a skidding pitch, it could be anyone's out there. This will be Queensland's main danger tonight, Andrew Johns' kicking game.
Look, he's such a valuable player. He's a valuable player to any football team, and when you've got him against you, you know you've got to watch him. There's a lot of tactics always against Andrew Johns, but he's a player that you have to expect the unexpected.
You see there the number 12, Ben Kennedy. I think he's a big plus for them. I thought he was probably plagued a little bit by that hamstring injury he took into game 1. No strapping tonight. There he is, the man with the nice haircut in the middle of shot now. He's a match winner in his own right.
Shows more confidence when you don't have any strapping around a hamstring. I'm also predicting a big game from Riles. I think Riles is a very important feature tonight.
Okay, well, Andrew Johns is a lucky charm for his team tonight. He's only lost one of his last 8 Origin appearances, and his brother Matthew caught up during the week with arguably the world's best.
I haven't felt this for that long. I was numb. I could not feel my body. Just there's that much adrenaline running through me. Just that feeling in your stomach, and it's hard to describe. I was dead set numb. The whole body was just buzzing. There was that much pressure on everyone, but we were all going to stand up, and there was no way we were going to get beat.
Johns, menacingly, Minicello's got number 2.
Joey, how do you take it when a person says that you're not the player you used to be, you're starting to slow up, your game's going backwards slightly? How do you cop that?
At the start of the year there was talk that I wasn't fit enough and my form wasn't going well, and then people was commenting in the street to me, and I could feel it just wanting to drive me. It was driving me, and it pisses me off really when people say that, because I've got so many good years in front of me, I think. So as long as I'm doing the hard work and I want to play, then I think I can play well.
Righto, Joey. I sit down every week. You watch Andrew Johns on the football field, the Super Juniors, the banana kicks, flick passes, no-look passes. Looks so easy, but what about you as a young bloke? Had a fair bit of adversity to overcome?
Yeah, probably in my middle teens. I got diagnosed with Ozkygrouch disease, and it's a growing disease where you grow too quick for your bones. And it wasn't until I got to the Knights and Harold Matthews, it was around that time when I was really struggling. I wasn't playing any good footy at all, but they picked me anyway. And it wasn't until I saw our club doctor, Dr. Neil Halpin, that he got me in plaster 6 weeks each leg. And when he said 6 weeks each leg plaster, I sort of went, no way in the world. And he said, well, it's either this or by the time you're 21, you won't be running, So made the decision pretty easy.
Medeiros to Johns, he'll score! The captain is in! Andrew Johns scores! New South Wales, they race out to a 23-12 lead now.
You've captained a grand final winning side. You captained a test win against the Poms last year. What will it mean to you to win this next game and win an Origin series and captain?
I suppose when you get older, you start to understand responsibilities, and I was reluctant to take on the captaincy, but now I understand the importance of the captaining the side and captaining it well, the importance of people put on us winning the series, and I haven't done it for a couple of years, and I suppose to do it to captain, do it as a captain is, I want to lift that shield. I see past highlight packages of players, captains lifting the shield above their heads, and it's something that I really want to do.
He's ready to roll, as is one of his former teammates, Paul Harrigan, who's now down on the playing turf. Are you with us, Chief?
I certainly am, and here I am in the middle of another great stadium. We've had some tremendous games here before in the past, but I tell you what, Origin 1 was a very physical match. We saw the wreckage and the carnage of bodies everywhere. We saw the concussions, we saw the cut faces. Well, tonight's going to be even tougher by virtue of Queensland are in a do-or-die situation. Now, do yourself a favour tonight. Behind me, these players are going to be lined up to sing the national anthem. The camera's going to be close. Have a look in their eyes. They're going to steel themselves ready for a physical and mental onslaught. The emotions through their bodies, including fear, something very special. But this crowd, it's amazing. 80,000 people are going to try and squeeze every last inch of energy out of these players. I'll tell you something, if you thought Origin 1 was tough, this one's going to blow it out of the water. Enjoy.
Yeah, the big man savouring every second, and a chance tonight to make your night a little bit sweeter. If you can coincide with the Australian selectors in the VB Man of the Match competition. $2,000 coming your way if you can come up with the same man chosen by the Aussie selectors, but you need to be quick. Entries close at 9 p.m. Now to enter, very simple. Either text on that number 0428 123 999 or phone the player's name through 1902 559 999, and the winner will be announced on tomorrow night's footy show. Our panel will be back at half-time. Time now to go to a break. We'll be back to Telstra Stadium with another of the stars of State of Origin number 1, our great caller Ray Warren, and the kick-off for State of Origin Game 2.
Welcome back to Rugby League's Coliseum. Telstra Stadium, 80,000 people waiting with expectation for the battle. Battle number 2 between the Blues and the Maroons. The measurement of excellence, the showpiece of our game, returns to Sydney and to the Olympic Stadium for this game number 2. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. And so far, what a magnificent spectacle it has been here for those people that have paid their dollars to come through the gates and watch, well, the battle for survival by Queensland, and of course a chance for New South Wales to seal the 22nd series. And of course, in doing so, levelling the Origin scoreboard. Incredible, isn't it? After 24 years of gut-busting and bloodletting, a win by New South Wales tonight will see that Origin scoreboard at dead level.
It's a magnificent moment, and I'm sure we're in for another tremendous night tonight. Look at the Olympic Stadium in the harbour city, hosting a full crowd. And I think back to 1980, when the cynics said that State of Origin wouldn't work. Well, 52,000 at Suncorp a fortnight ago, 80,000 tonight in Sydney, lays weight to the theory that it is working. It is doing just fine, as Gordon Tallis of the Queensland Maroons, sponsored by Amy and Forex, are on their way. The Queenslanders about to be greeted with this Sydney reception. Tallis at the helm for the 6th time as Queensland captain. And he's about to be given a Sydney reception. Johns has left the sheds behind the Queenslanders. Tallis is out there now with the Queenslanders. Johns on that long march down from underneath the stadiums, and then he'll be greeted by this word of welcome from a partisan New South Wales crowd. And so both teams are out there waiting for the start of game number 68. Tallis, 15 Origin games for only 4 victories. Young Matt Bowen there wishing all the best to his teammates. He's on debut with Michael Crocker. Danny Medeiros, of course, had a superb opening game in Brisbane 2 weeks ago. Players just assembling, waiting for the national anthem to be performed tonight by Human Nature.
He's got the game face on tonight, hasn't he, Gordon Tallis, the skipper? Doesn't have a great record at Origin level. He'll look to improve that tonight. In fact, Wayne Bennett, from his last 16 Origin appearances, he hasn't put back-to-back losses together.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are standing for the national anthem of Australia, to be performed by Human Nature.
So the anthem, and then it'll be time on.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and well-worn toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every saint advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia
Human Nature, with Queensland retiring now to the northern end of the park as Sean Timmins and the Blues, Luke Ricketson and company, take up their stations on the southern end of the Olympic Stadium. Michael Crocker, one of those players in the lineup, including Bowen, Sattler and Norton, new faces, still bandaged following the stapling of a fortnight ago. Hodges, Marsh, Flannery and Bowman gone from the Queensland side. Bill Harrigan is about to officiate at his 20th Origin match. The last 11 consecutively. Queensland have won 10 from 19 under Bill, but New South Wales have won 6 of the last 10. There is time on. State of Origin 2 is underway. Lockyer it is with the first touch of the football. And he's put down 15 metres out from his own line. The chase from New South Wales was good, and Lockyer's in trouble. Lockyer is in trouble at the back of play. 20 metres out from their own line as Price, playing in his 12th origin. His first run-on side, plays the ball just outside the 20-metre line. And now for Sivan Asiva. Michael Crocker. Way to Lockyer, and he got a kick in. He looked reasonably free in his action. Minicello, driven down by the Maroons. Tallis coming in a bit late on the Brent Tate tackle. Now De Vere. Riles. And met by 4 of them. 2 of them certainly found their mark, Price and Webke. And it's Kearns who puts it down. First scrum of the night is about to pack. Loose head and feed to Queensland.
Well, there's been some massive defence by the Maroons. Stephen Price over the top on that occasion. A big tackle by Brent Tate a few seconds ago. And Robbie Kearns just had a little look. His eyes off the football.
And the first scrum of the night has been won by Queensland. Andrew, Darren Lockyer, is he okay?
Yeah, well, the Queensland, the entire state held its breath, but a couple of words to the trainer. I'm sweet was the words from Darren Lockyer, so he's okay. Just a bit apprehensive, I guess, taking this ankle injury into the game. Ray, there is a forecast for more showers before the night is out. We've also heard that the storm has passed through south of Sydney. It'll make for some great sporting theatre if it hits Telstra Stadium.
Here's Tallis doing well to get a ball away. That's Carlaw in 14. 25 metres out from the line on tackle number 4 for the Queenslanders. Given this opportunity by a New South Wales knock-on. Aiken to Lockyer, Lockyer to Tate, and Tate loses his footing.
A couple of times already. Some good defence by him as well. He's one of their big guns, one of their star players, the number 12.
Sivan Asiva there. Born in Fiji. He comes from a select band of players born outside Australia, playing at origin level as Webke plays the ball now. This is Stephen Price. His brother-in-law, Brent Tate, playing out in the centres. 29 years of age from the Canterbury club in Sydney. As Aiken drives it down in the direction of Michael De Vere. De Vere, gee, I tell you what, I thought he had total cover on it, and then all of a sudden it nearly beat him.
And Aiken did kick from inside his own 40, so it would have been a 40-20 giving Maroons possession. Minicello slipping again, forced back centre field, 15 out from his own line.
Quite a bit of rain in Sydney during the day. It's made the surface quite slippery. This is Ricketson playing it back for Badeiras, who tries to generate something down the short side before the dummy and the run. And Crocker it is who makes the tackle, blocking up the middle. Johns gives it to Timmins, Timmins to Kearns, Kearns to the halfway. Now, the Blues crowd, they come alive as Johns puts his kick in. And Singh comes out to the 20-metre line. He was really good in Queensland a fortnight ago. Matt Singh, that is. Tate. 25-12 it was that night, with New South Wales winning. They had a decisive victory in Game 1 last year, only to find Queensland come back and win Game 2. In fact, first time lose to the ground. Tahu tackled 12 metres out from his own try line. Minicello getting the pass off for Gidley. Gidley is put away. Few metres inside the 20-metre red zone. Now for Jamie Lyon. He's under a bit of a cloud with a hamstring injury. Fitzgibbon with that eye socket injury carries the ball. Taken down by his Sydney Roosters teammate, Crocker. Now Badeiras and then to Kearns.
Very clever work again from Danny Badeiras. You watch, if there's a marker who's slow or lazy, he will use him as a shield and pick up metres. Johns again kicking to this side of the field. Lockier's got some trouble here with Singh in support. Position, a couple of mistakes. So far the feature of this game has been the defence. There you can see the brains trust of the New South Wales side. Phil Gould, centre screen. His assistant coaches there, Laurie Daly, been there, done it before, and movement now on the Queensland bench with Travis Norton. Played 2 matches last year for Queensland, and they will be the first man into this game off the bench.
So the Blues coming up with the scrum win, and that's a strong effort by Timmins. Inspirational off the scrum run. Now it's gone on to Riles. The big man did well to get out there so quickly from the scrum. Tahu does a bit of light stepping, gets away from Hegarty, gets away from Crocker, taken in a third tackle by Webke. Big effort by Tahu. Now Badeiras. This is Johns. Inside ball for Kennedy. Kennedy going back and getting away from Webke. Got it back to Riles. Riles buffets away from another and is taken eventually 27 metres out from the uprights. Badeiras using Ricketson. A handoff for Kearns and then Fitzgibbon. Now Minicello, and he's pulled down. They've got a keener eye on Minicello tonight. It's played back to Badeiras on the 20-metre line as Johns goes wide for Timmins. And Timmins is pulled down on tackle 5. They're 19 away, right in the centre of the park. Now to Johns, he goes to the kick. After it is De Vere. Under it is it's hit the referee. Kennedy has forced the ball, but I don't know that it'll be a try, although he's gone to the video.
I'm not sure if it hit the referee, right? Hit the post and then came down and bounced off a New South Wales player backwards. And the question is whether Ben Kennedy got to ground the football before the Queensland player.
I think he did that.
I'm pretty sure he did that, Pete. It's the old banana kick back to the inside by Andrew Johns. Onside is Ben Kennedy. There's a couple of New South Wales players back on the inside. Looks like, I don't know if they come into it.
No, they don't.
They don't, and it's come, does it hit Bill Harrigan? I don't think it does. I think it's come off a New South Wales player, gone backwards, and then Ben Kennedy, looks like he might have got there. It comes off the Vere. Kennedy slippering and sliding. Does he get there in time? Does the right hand go down? Yes. Yes, it does.
It's simultaneous, which I don't think it is, because I don't think Crocker gets a grounding on it at all. It will go the New South Wales player way. I may look at this to see if there's a knock-on involved. I don't think it is. It goes backwards off Michael De Vere, not propelled towards the dead ball line. And I think Kennedy gets the downward pressure, and this will be the first points of the match.
Well, Bill Harrigan, it doesn't hit him, but Michael De Vere does. And there goes Bill. That's the last he sees of it. Thank God we've got a video referee. Does he get downward pressure?
Absolutely.
Ben Kennedy from Newcastle claiming the first try. Will it become a reality? Well, it was all over the place. Hit the upright, hit De Vere, he hit Harrigan. Here comes the result, it's a try. New South Wales take first points. Ben Kennedy scores. 12 minutes gone.
Well, an incredible kick there from Andrew Johns. Looked like it might have been going too long and then hits the post. The bounce was a good one. Michael De Vere, who's had a great start to this game, made some good decisions in defence. Came in and got the touch.
This was a great effort by Michael De Vere, wasn't it? He came from outside Kennedy. Look, there was a bit of luck involved, no doubt about it, but, you know, when that happens, Queensland, you've got to have players in motion. You've got to have players there. On that occasion, they were just too slow to react.
Johns then converts the try of Kennedy. 6-0, the Blues. Back to Telstra Stadium, the Harvey Norman Phillips State of Origin Series. The Wizard Blues leading 6-0 after 12 minutes of play. A freakish try, really. A huge amount of luck involved in the recipe. Now it's Matt Gidley. Gidley dummies. He slices through. Gidley is over. Try number 2 to the Blues. The coaching staff go up. The Blues crowd goes up. And so does the scoreboard.
And at Origin level, that is a soft try, especially with the kind of defence we've seen in the opening exchanges here. Jason Riles, Robbie Kearns did a fine job. And now the freshmen are out there, and Matt Gidley showing the football, getting outside Shane Redkey, eluding one other defender, and the Novocastrians get the first 2 tries.
Well, a simple case of Gidley showing the football, dummying, parrying, thrusting. There it goes, bang. No one gets near him. One hand laid on him by Crocker. Soft defence, awful defence on their own goal line. A great effort though by Gidley.
And the staggered line there is again jubilation.
Where's the dance, Gus?
Oh, no.
He knows it's too early to start dancing.
Keep that hidden for a while. They went up at a different time, Michael Crocker and Shane Redkey, and that opened up the hole. And if you can put a defender on your heels, or their heels, you have a chance in beating them.
He's had a lot of offers, the coach. One circus group wanted him, the car company wants him. Here's the kick by John, successful. It is 12-0 the Blues. As we welcome you back, that was the kick-off being marked at the southern end. 12-0. New South Wales with 2 converted tries. Scored by the boys from Newcastle. Kennedy and Gidley, both converted by another Novocastrian, John. This kid from Newcastle, Badiris, is playing well. Jamie Lyon is with the ball after a little juggle. And some work there on Robbie Kearns. Brian Fletcher takes a buffeting in the defence, a 3-man defence. Hitting him hard. Andrew Voss, sideline.
Well, I'll tell you this, Ray, watching on from the sideline, I don't think ever before that the call for the legendary Queensland spirit has been more needed than tonight. I watched the Queenslanders very closely coming back, the likes of Tallis and Webke after that last try. Now, I won't say the heads were down, but there was certainly no zest about coming back for
Phil Harrigan. This will be a penalty to Queensland for foul play.
Okay, because we've already gone one play the ball too far, we're going to still put the scrum down, Ben. You've been seen with a hit, which is going on report.
Well, it won't be a penalty, as we'll explain. It's gone one play too many, so a little bit lucky there. That's a vicious swinging arm over the top, collects him right on the chin and the right cheekbone.
The only thing in Ben Kennedy's favour there is he wasn't looking at the man when he sprung the arm, and that will probably be part of his defence as the Blues win this scrum and Sean Timmins takes it over the halfway line. Wing about to come into the action.
Here is Fitzgibbon now. Given the strength of Kennedy and the contact points, Stephen Price, he did well to find his feet. Fletcher! Beautiful ball! Jamie Lyon gets it away to Minicello! He's over! Minicello scores his 3rd Origin try! Beautiful pass by Fletcher, and Jamie Lyon, he got it onto Minicello.
Well, this is where they got the football. It was a mistake by Tony Carroll going down, the ball just popping out. And then tremendous work from Brian Fletcher. He's a big match player. Of course, played in the grand final for the Roosters last year. They come to the left-hand side, and Fletcher, as he does so well, throws the dummy, goes to the defence. As we freeze it there, you'll see that he'll get between the 2 players and he'll find Lyon on the fly, and then the support will come as play continues. Gets the arm free. Lyon, who's had a great start to this game as well. Finds Minicello one-on-one, bang into Lockyer, gets the football down. Pretty good strike rate, 3 tries, 1 and a bit games.
Yeah, great ball, Brian Fletcher. Once again, ineffectual defence by Queensland. They can't lock the ball up. Lyon had to turn around, find someone, and Minicello came from nowhere. His support play tonight has been outstanding, and the strength of the man, one-on-one, fullback on fullback, bang, whoosh, gar, and over for the try. Gus, something, he's up again. It's a great start this for New South Wales.
3rd try in his Origin career, which is only 2 games old for Anthony Minicello. The try made possible by Brian Fletcher. First Rabideau at Origin level since '99, and Spud Carroll. Johns from touch, from 21 out, and it's just outside the uprights. No further points, but 16-0. That's horrifying for Wayne Bennett. At the 28th minute, Andrew Voss.
Well, Ray, in Origin, you start each half with a full tank of petrol, 3/4 of the way through this first half, and I've got to tell you, that Queensland tank is close to empty with charges like this from Brian Fletcher. Just outstanding. I can tell you, while that conversion was being lined up by Andrew Johns, Ben Kennedy was gates may open if Craig Wing gets his own way in this last 10 before half-time.
Beautiful Wonderful try. Minicello sends De Vere back away from his own line. Just on reflection, it was an unfortunate thing for him to cross 30. Berrigan will play the ball 25 out from the southern uprights. Then it's gone away from Sattler to Lockyer, and Lockyer's 10 metres out from the line. And Scotty Sattler is the oldest debutant since Arthur Beetson for Queensland in 1980. Now Carroll through to Berrigan and on to Aiken, and they cut out Tallis and go to Lockyer. Lockyer's held and gets it away. Norton gives it on. Tate takes a big tackle before getting it away. Matt Singh heads for the line, but he's pulled down and tackled, and Brent Tate has not risen from that tackle. It's gone over to Lockyer, a speculator. It's gone away from Carlaw. It's on the ground for Hegarty. Shannon comes back with the ball. Hegarty's tackled. 9 metres out, and that's turnover.
Oh, they look certain to score, Queensland. They could have got the ball to Hegarty earlier. They had a big overlap. Look at the lack of New South Wales defenders out there. Just two. They just couldn't get the ball. Had to be thrown there from Carlaw. He had a lot of room to work in Shannon Hegarty, but it got smaller the longer the play went.
Tahu with the play the ball. Badeiras giving it off to Fitzgibbon, and Queensland, they come at him, but he gets the ball away. Luke Bailey picked it up on the bounce, and he's put on the hurdy-gurdy, flung to the ground. 7 metres out from his own line, Andrew G was the tackler. And now Luke Ricketson. They're going nowhere at the moment. The Blues, they're really bogged down under some great, tremendous defence, in fact, by Queensland. Fletcher breaks it open. The Wizard Blues. 5 errors to 2. Queensland on the debit side of that. Now Johns. Here is Wing. It's a hospital ball, really, for Minicello, but Minicello was able to take it in before taking the confrontation with Carroll. Fitzgibbon leaves the 40 behind him, makes 30. Here is Ricketson. Now Johns tries to break them open. Right in front of the uprights, 22 metres away from the northern end. Badeiras holding it back. Craig Wing tries to get through. Wing is 10 metres out from the line. Tackle 5 is there. Now Badeiras out to the captain. There's the kick. De Vere's underneath it. Turns it back inside. It may have come off a Queensland hand, but the player didn't play at the ball.
The New South Wales players that came in did come off the Queenslander, but as Ray rightly points out, the rule now that a man must be playing at the football for it to be deemed a knock-on. It's not played at by Matt Singh. Queensland feed. Play the ball. It was the last tackle, I'm sorry.
Andrew Voss sideline.
Ray, New South Wales might have to operate with just a 3-man interchange for the remainder of this match. That is Brian Fletcher going up the tunnel. It is a hamstring injury, and judging by Brian's reaction as he came off, it is not good. Confirmation too from the doctor. It doesn't look good. Brian Fletcher may not play any more football tonight.
So, is that the trigger that maybe we'll see Lady Luck starting to smile on Queensland? Andrew G loses the ball. De Vere picks it up, and De Vere is attracted to him and puts him away. Badeiras. Jamie Lyon again. There they are, just inside that 40-metre red line.
You saw how draining it was. They've been playing busted for Queensland in game 1, and they will miss Brian Fletcher. 17 plays 16. The pendulum swings a little bit towards Queensland side.
Kennedy is back in the game. He is on report for a high tackle on Steve Price. Did well to get the ball off to Wing. Wing back for Timmins. Timmins runs back to the short side. And Sean Timmins will play it. 30 metres away from the line. Third tackle gone. Over to the middle of the park with 2 passes finding Johns. He stabs a kick through. He's looking for Tahu. Lockyer's back there urgently.
Smart kick there from Johns. No one at home. Lockyer had struggled to get there on time. The winger was up. There's plenty of open spaces. I'm surprised that Joey hasn't put the ball to deck a little bit more on the greasy surface.
Carroll playing this ball. Yeah. And it's a big one going down to bounce on the 30-metre line, then does a right-hand turn. So what's the story with Brian Fletcher? cameras take us inside the New South Wales sheds, and he's in a bit of pain. He's with the physio.
I think half of it's pain, Ray, and the other half is frustration. He's shattered. He realises that there's a big chance he won't come any further part in this game, and maybe for a couple of weeks for the south side. The awful things, hamstrings.
Scrum packing, New South Wales pack weight, the run-on side 607, Queensland 634. Not one of the Queensland forwards in the run-on pack under 100 kilos.
Luke wants to get in front of that leg, so you have to move it back.
Johns working the scrum. We're coming up towards the break. Craig Wing playing it, and to the short side with Luke Bailey. Bailey out to the 40-metre line.
This line.
Vidaris. And now Johns, and that ball landed only an inch inside the touchline. Wing playing it on the 40-metre line, Queensland's end of the park. Now it's away for Minicello, running and showing it. Jamie Lyon fending free, and Norton it is that makes the tackle for Queensland. Inside the 30, they go to the 20, and they go to the boot of Sean Timmins. Up it goes and down it comes. It's back to Timmins. He rakes it away to Johns. Johns goes for a field goal, and Bill Harrigan says it is a field goal right on half-time. Well, Andrew Johns, there's nothing left to be said. He's found the line with a drop kick from the 20 that should have been a tap probably in the minds of most people, and then with nothing else on offer, he takes a drop goal with the siren in the background. They go to the break then, quite unbelievably, at 17 points to nil. New South Wales 17, Queensland nil at half-time in State of Origin 2. Take a break, and then we'll come back with Peter Sterling, Paul Borton and the panel here at the Olympic Stadium.
One of the highlights for New South Wales in that first half, Anthony Minicello keeping up his great try-scoring record with the Sky Blue jersey on. 17 points to nil at the break, 3 unanswered tries, and the final stamp of the first 40 minutes came from the captain, Andrew Johns. He's done it before at Origin level at the half-time break, just piloting 1 point over. That's a point they don't have to get later on, and who knows what role it might play. Now, you've only got a matter of minutes to get involved in our SMS competition. $2,000 could be coming your way if you can coincide with the Australian Selectors' Choice as man of the match tonight. Phone 1902 559 999 or text the player's name on 188 1099. Now, that number has changed, 188 1099. 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. tonight. That's the cut-off point, and the winner will be announced tomorrow night on the Footy Show. But I've got to say, really, probably a dominant 30 minutes for New South Wales tonight, guys. Queensland came out all guns blazing, but after the first 10 or 15, I don't know if they had much left.
Same old story for Queensland. Their defence has been ordinary, and they've had a lack of field position, no doubt about it. Only one set of 6 in that whole 40 minutes in the Blues quarter, and it just wasn't good enough by Queensland. I think they've been fairly disappointing.
Yeah, I think they've really maybe got to chance their arm a bit more. I know the slippery conditions. 17-0 down. At the moment, they don't look like breaking too many lines. They've got to try a few different things, change the point of the attack, get these big guys coming onto the ball at speed and running different angles, try to mix up the New South Wales defence.
This is it for mine. Apart from Darren Lockyer, I don't think there's anyone there who's looked like breaking the line. Darren Lockyer's been their best player once again tonight.
Well, let's have a quick look at the try scorers tonight. In fact, the whole scoreboard, 3 of them coming New South Wales way, with Anthony Minicello, Matt Gidley and Ben Kennedy all crossing. Andrew Johns converted 2 of those and kicked that late field goal. Queensland, superb performance from New South Wales defensively. And we have a look at the statistics. No line breaks for Queensland. That is significant. The total tackles very similar. The missed tackles almost twice as many against the Queensland team. So too the errors, and more possession for New South Wales. just what Phil Gould would have ordered. Statistically, they are in front as they are on the scoreboard.
Absolutely, Sterlo, and I think you've got to come back and give a bit of credit to the defence of New South Wales, not just so much the attack. They're really covering up well on the inside of the footy. They're really making some hard yards there and covering up the inside of the ball and not creating any gaps to make, to allow Queensland to go through. Attacking-wise, you look at their field position, as you said, Fatty. Andrew Johnson's finding the ground on all these kicks. Minicello's getting a lot of football on the full, creating another probably 20 or 30 metres for him.
Well, after the initial defensive onslaught, New South Wales got on the board. We thought he was a little bit quiet because of that hamstring problem in game 1, but tonight Ben Kennedy has been on fire.
They're 19 away, right in the centre of the park. Now to Johns, he goes to the kick. After it is De Vere, under it is it's hit the referee. Kennedy has forced the ball.
Yeah, look, a little bit of luck, no doubt about it. But, you know, the game's all about anticipation. And when the ball goes up, watch the Queensland players. They turn and they stare and they stop. And where are the chasers? Where are the people going, well, this could go anywhere. We've got to get back there. Only Michael Crocker made an effort, and that was, unfortunately, too late.
Very reminiscent years ago of Wally Lewis finding the pace for Greg Dowling to score.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that.
Sort of.
It was more fun for us on that occasion, wasn't it, Paddy? More fun for us on that occasion.
Well, there aren't too many soft tries scored at Origin level. You do work hard for all of them, but I'm sure Wayne Bennett would have been disappointed that Matt Gidley was allowed to stroll through.
And he'll play at 18 metres out from the line. Now it's Matt Gidley. Gidley dummies. He slices through. Gidley is over. Try number 2 to the Blues.
Poor old Michael Crocker there has taken the dummy and waited for the ball to go outside him. He's gone inside him instead. And there's a great try by Gidley. You talk about anticipation. It's fantastic footwork to go through there.
The thing about each of the New South Wales tries tonight could have been cut down, could have been chopped down. The Queensland defence, I mean, why wouldn't Phil Gould be happy? A great individual effort there by Matt Gidley.
Well, Andrew Johns was superb in game 1 and he's backed it up tonight with a tremendous first 40 minutes. 7 tackles. He's played a little bit in the second line, trying to conserve a bit of energy. His kicks, as Ricky Stewart has pointed out, has been tremendous. And let's have a look at some of the forwards there. Craig Fitzgibbon, well, same old.
He's had a big game. A couple of Ricky's Roosters tonight. Fitzgibbon and Ricketson have been stars. And Dane Carlaw, he's been a hard worker.
He's had a pretty fair game.
Yeah, he's gone all right, Dane.
Queensland can go to tonight, try and get something out of.
On the fringes he needs to be, that's for sure.
Paddy, this is a position that Phil Gould will be very wary of. And you look at Luke Ricketson here now with his hit-ups. Gus has always had real worries, real concerns about this situation where you're ahead. This is when they're most dangerous.
Well, there you can see the battle of the metre charts and New South Wales in front there, and we saw that their back row is featured very prominently in all of those statistics. I think the great thing about the likes of the New South Wales back row, they work so hard, but they've got energy when they've got the football as well. They find the energy.
Absolutely. And Phil Gould here, I mean, steady she goes for Phil. He's just talking to the players now about, look, you're leading 17-0. You know, you've only got to keep them scoreless for the next half. You win the series, boys. That's what it's all about. That's what it means. And imagine what it means to all these 80,000 people here tonight who are supporting you, all that sort of stuff.
I think he'll be talking here, Fatty, about not closing up shop, keep attacking the game, keep playing attacking football here. Don't close up shop. We're not over the line yet.
Well, I think the thing for the New South Wales camp now is not to get ahead of themselves. They don't want to start looking at the scoreboard.
No, and they can't go into their show like Ricky said. They've got to keep playing the brand of football they're playing. They've had good field position. They've converted that into points, which is great. That's what football's all about. Second half, you can expect a different Queensland team out there. Queensland have got to throw the ball around, chance their arm a bit, and hopefully get some good field position and let their strike players take over.
Yeah, I think the angle changes is very important. Also, maybe a couple of short kicks, maybe from Lockett, just in behind the defence to try and bring Minicello up and then try and kick deep if you can. You've got to start changing something, Queensland, or else you're in for a long, tough night.
New South Wales have got plenty of energy because they haven't been shifted around in defence.
Well, we would like to take you inside the Queensland sheds, but as is normally the case, they are behind closed doors. They've got some work to do, but they will benefit from this break. Gee, you're not bad. Like the kick did hit the ground and Greg Dowling got it and dived across. We'll take a break now, 17-0, back to Telstra Stadium for the second half in just a moment.
Welcome back to Telstra Stadium. 17-0, the halftime score favouring the home team, the Blues of New South Wales. Queensland leaving the sheds. They've come back 8 times in Origin history, from a deficit, they've come back and won 8 times, Queensland. So it's not over yet. They conceded a 10-point start in 1981 and ran home as the victors that night. And this is the biggest lead that New South Wales have ever held. Even in 2000, when they won 56-16, the halftime score that night was 20-10. So the Blues are holding the biggest halftime lead they've ever enjoyed. But they know that Queensland have got it in them to come back. In Origin history, they've done it 8 times.
Imagine, Ray, that the first 10 minutes so important to those men walking out onto Telstra Stadium again. Well, they've got to get some points on the board, get a little bit of a roll on. They are capable of scoring quick points. This team here so confident, defensively outstanding. They haven't had a line break against them, as we saw at the half-time statistics. And there's Brian Fletcher coming back out, so there is good news for New South Wales. He may play a further role.
Fletcher injured hamstring. And there he is, as you can see, with that left thigh very heavily bandaged. And it would seem that there's a chance, if he's needed, that Brian Fletcher will take another part in the game. Now, Andrew Voss has been able to catch up with Coach Phil Gould. Andrew?
Well, Phil, I can't imagine a coach any happier in Origin at 17-0. What exactly did you say to the players?
Well, I just said that this series is only half over. We've had a game and a half in a 3-game series, and we want to play the second half better than the first half. As for this game tonight, it's pretty slippery conditions out there. It can turn on one play. We've got to keep going up on each play, win each play, the ball as it comes. No looking at the scoreboard or the clock, just try and keep the pressure on.
Phil, I don't think I'm guessing here. I don't think the coach's instructions to the captain were to kick on the 20-metre restart for the line inside the final 60 seconds of the first half, were they?
It was in by that much.
What's the story with Brian Fletcher?
He's done a hamstring. They're going to test him. I doubt that he'll come back tonight, but we'll see how he goes.
Good luck for the second half, Phil.
Coach Gould giving us some valuable time as Darren Lockyer starts the second half of Origin 2. Craig Wing marking the ball and Luke Bailey takes it back to the 20. Badira's a dummy half. He's done a more than competent job, and it's been workmanlike from Fitzgibbon in number 11. He played without break, as did Ricketson. Here's Kennedy now. Phil Bailey and Matt Bowen yet to see time in the game. Bailey. Queensland, of course, will be more high on expectation with the entry into Origin football of young Matt Bowen. And he's going to come on, it would seem, with a fairly big scoreline staring him in the face, and he's on the wrong side of it. Tate. Match being taken overseas by Sky Sports in the UK, and of course down through New Zealand, up through Papua New Guinea.
He gets rid of another. That is a tremendous run.
Nice tackle, what a run from Bailey. They might run it again, but the defence still getting back.
John to make it 19-0. Here comes the kick. Never ever deviated. And Andrews' friend in the shape of, what's his name, Reg Reagan? They celebrate. Andrews sideline as the scoreboard goes to 19-0.
Well, if Coach Gould and Andrew Johns weren't on the same wavelength in that 20-metre restart just before half-time, they certainly were there. Fatty said straight away, Andrew Johns wanted to go for goal. I think Gus beat him to it as Bill Harrigan had his whistle in his mouth. Gus was already signalling, go for goal, take the 2.
Lockyer taking us into this section of play, and Luke Bailey brings it back out to the 20-metre line. He seems okay. Badira's offloading for Fitzgibbon. Sibonasiva and Tallis and G combining to make the tackle. Well, a couple of those statistics that seemingly were going to help Queensland. It'll be a miracle if it turns out that way now. For instance, the team that lost Origin 1 has won. Takes it to the forward. 2 metres out from the line. Plays it back for Danny Badiras. Away for Timmins, and Timmins is again very close for New South Wales. Badiras runs across. delivers for Johns. Johns is wrestled down on 5. 19-0 New South Wales with their captain playing the ball. Timmins puts a little kick in. Hegarty didn't get a hand on it. New South Wales, they fight for possession, and Gidley, I think it's Gidley who has got the try.
Well, is it Gidley or is it Tahu? A wonderful kick there from Sean Timmins. Not normally his responsibility, but as Ray pointed out, Johns was playing the football. This was the first penalty going New South Wales way, raking the ball out. Then Shannon Hegarty was the culprit in talking back to the referee. It amused Bill Harrigan. Then they worked the ball to the centre of the field. Andrew Johns throw the wide pass to Tamana Tahu, and then a couple of rucks later, Sean Timmins puts it behind Tony Carroll. Berrigan doesn't play at it. Shannon Hegarty comes flying in, misses it completely. Who gets the hand on the football? There's Gidley, there's Tahu.
Give it a Tahu.
Give it to Tahu.
Give
When
it
it comes
a
to
Tahu.
Sean Timmins, we'll freeze it there. This is the key man, Shannon Hegarty out wide. As play continues, just watch his involvement here. He's the man who has the best chance of cleaning it up, and he just has an air swing. And the boys can't believe their good fortune.
Yeah, great work by Sean Timmins. Had another massive game tonight. He's run strongly. He's not your typical ball playing 5'8", but he gets the job done just by running good angles. He's a strong defender, and some unknown kicking skills there. Little grubber, and I'm surprised they haven't done more of that tonight, the Blues. They obviously have faith in their wingers, in Tahu and De Vere, to try and out-jump their counterparts. But the first time, really, the ball's been on the deck in the in goal, and they got a try out of it.
Do we have official confirmation?
No, we haven't.
I'll go Tahu.
I'm not absolutely sure. In fact, I thought they got a simultaneous touchdown, which Gidley now has got 1.5 tries, and Tahu's got a half.
Well, they get 2 points each for that one.
I defy the naked eye to tell me who got the hand with downward pressure on it first. Johns now. 8 metres in from touch, and he misses. As we go to a break, it is 23-0 New South Wales to Telstra Stadium. And 80,000 people here watching Origin 2 as Johns fires off this kick. Where did he kick that from? It doesn't matter. Matt Singh got back there quickly. He must have thought it was inside the 40.
He kicked it all right inside the 40, 39.5 out from his own line, and Matt Singh realised the importance of keeping that ball in play.
Lockyer will play the ball. Now Tate stepping away initially from Timmins. He's dragging them out to the 10-metre line. The other defenders, Ricketson was there. And
Phil Bailey is on for the Blues in 17.
Ben Aiken. Webke out wide, running off a receiver. Gets up and takes a swing at Phil Bailey. Webke and Bailey, they stand and go toe-to-toe. Tellers goes in.
Well, this is very unusual. You don't see Shane Webke react like this too many times during a football game.
I think he threw the first one, Pete,
He did, absolutely, and he took great offence at something that Phil Bailey did. I don't think said in the tackle. Been having a few words as well. Made him restless.
Well, Riles and Sattler, they've parted from the main scrimmage and conducted their own battle. Let's go to the referee, let him work it out.
You got anything? Shane Webke. Phil Bailey. Phil Bailey. Legal, Phil. Anything for me, Phil? Philly? Solid good. All right. Hey, hang on. I don't need. Okay. Well, I want to know you instigated it. That'll do. All right. We've got it all out of our system. That's good. Let's just play footy now. If you didn't push him, and mate, you're taking a little bit too far, but you pushed him, so if you didn't push him, you don't hit you. Don't do it again, mate. Knock him down.
So the penalty goes with Shane Webke. There's Bailey.
Yeah, that's what we didn't see, and then Shane Webke reacted accordingly and then chased hard. Queensland now on the attack. They need to score here.
Well, Bailey's only been out there a matter of seconds. And he's created a minute.
Often.
There's Lockyer trying to find a passage through. Loose ball again. Gee, they've put some down. I understand they're playing catch-ups. 79,132 at the Telstra Olympic Stadium to watch New South Wales lead 23-0. They're edging closer by the minute to wrapping up Series 22. 40-metre line, New South Wales end of the ground, and they win the scrum. And if they win the game and win the series, the Origin scoreboard will be dead level.
It's remarkable, isn't it? After all of those years, just how tight these...
They go. Minicello came down with nothing. Riles, was he running the wrong way? Well, he certainly corrected it quickly. Phil Bailey drops it on the ground. Now Timmins does the same. Tallis tries to pick it up, and Tallis knocks on.
Well, that is some of the sloppiest football you'll ever see. And at the end of it, Gordon Tallis has knocked it on. There's passes going backwards. The ball was dropped 3 or 4 times. Desperation, trying to keep the ball alive to get a kick in someone. Tallis comes in to dive on it.
Wrapping themselves up around the throat. Tony Carroll is the man.
Well, the touch judge has come in. Bill Harrigan, he saw it. He was only 6-7 metres away. It's actually bounced up off the football. I think it's careless.
Yeah,
I doubt about that.
Yeah, he's unlucky.
That'll do.
It ends up high, but it definitely comes up off the football. The target was aimed lower than that.
And looks like Phil Gould, judging by that, what does he want? I thought he was pointing to the goalpost, but...
He was just telling his players it started to rain.
Crowd grabbing for cover as the Blues edge closer to the line. Now from wing it's gone out to Minicello, and he throws a dummy and he keeps going. He's run across there to Jamie Lyon. Lyon with the ball and forced back into touch. Gee, that was converging defence. It was good stuff.
Yeah, desperation there, and Jamie Lyon takes on Brent Tate and Matt Singh. Ben Eichen, he starts to get involved now, and then a couple of other maroon jerseys come in. Crocker, Travis Norton, and Jamie Lyon. Appreciate that last little shove there by Brent Tate.
Get down, Ben. Get all the way in, Ben. Arms on.
Singh. Andrew sideline.
Well, a whole lot of news happening down here on the sideline as Queensland get a penalty. Matt Bowen about to get his first
3. If they part bad friends after this. Johns out goes to Phil Bailey. Bailey taken down by Tony Carroll and Shannon Haggerty. Timmins goes to dummy half, wing to first receiver, wide ball. Riles might have knocked on out there. Bill Harrigan said no, play on. Wing and Johns combine at the play the ball. Fitzgibbon is picked off in a pile driving tackle from Carlo. Now back to Johns, and he knocks on. Came off Crocker. Crocker goes on, puts the ball over the line. This will make interesting viewing. Bill Harrigan's going to point to the spot.
Well, Bill was happy with it. And Michael Crocker's persistence has paid off. He just kept chasing this football. And he is onside, yes. And no New South Wales player got near this ball. The perfect kick came off his chest, and then he grabbed it, pulled it down. That right arm carrying the football, never hit the deck, but he looked like he lost control at the end. It just comes out, but he bangs it down in time. Okay?
I've got to say, I am surprised Bill Harrigan didn't at least go to the video referee, but he was happy with that. And just reward for Michael Crocker. He's done well in his debut game. He might get a few more matches in maroon jersey. And are you allowed to lose it like that and force it? Like, to me, he's knocked on.
I was of the opinion he knocked on, but the try has been given. I'm amazed he didn't go to the video. It is 23-4, the Blues.
Now from just 14,440 with air conditioning, power steering and CD tube.
And that is the restart of play from the Blues with this 23-4 lead. 9.25 minutes of Origin 2 to go. Sivanasiva. Just on that try from Michael Crocker, the rule book suggests that if you lose the ball forward and you regain possession before it hits the ground, it's not a knock-on. So Bill Harrigan obviously felt that Michael Crocker regained possession of the ball before it hit the ground. Here's another chance for the Blues to go on the attack just outside the 30-metre line.
Yeah, not this time Michael Crocker is ruled to have knocked on, but yeah, I thought that if you lose the football, he would have had to have recaptured that before it touched the ground. And again, the quandary is why Bill Harrigan, with the facility, didn't go upstairs just to doubly check.
Timmins.
Yeah, that's one.
Craig Wing looking for his captain. Fires. Back to Timmins and across to Johns. And Johns out for Gidley. Gidley gets it away. Tahu. Tamana has scored. That was beautiful hands. I thought Gidley was going to go in and score perhaps his third try.
It's a Newcastle connection here. Firstly, they go to Timmins, and then a second receiver, Andrew Johns. And Matt Gidley runs into the hole. So he got ankle tap to some degree. They come wide. Johns has got the football now. As he frees it there, you can see that Gidley will go into that hole, vacated by this Queensland player drifting out. As play continues, Gidley looks like he'll score. Tahu had some problems with his hands early in the season. What about this for a pickup? On his bootlaces, in difficult conditions, catches and dives in the one motion.
Sensational stuff. Good finish to this Origin game. That wraps it up for the Blues, no doubt about it. Matt Bowen, a desperate lunge. That is just the best. That's sensational stuff. We've seen them do it plenty of times for the Newcastle club. Gidley to Tahu.
You try throwing a pass as you fall into ground, throwing a flick pass.
You can't do it. As
you fall to ground. Hegarty was attracted in just to get in a position to get that pass away without breaking your shoulders. Quite remarkable. And Tamana Tahu continues his tremendous try-scoring record at every level.
Well, there's the New South Wales bench. I mean, isn't this a great combination? Gidley and Tahu. They talk about Badeiros and Johns having an understanding of one another. What about the understanding that Tahu and Gidley have got of one another? Here's Johns from the sideline. And this one is wide. So the Blues over the Maroons at the 74th minute, 27-4.
Sunday on the...
As we welcome you back, 27-4 scoreline in favour of New South Wales. It was 17-0 at the break. Just outside the 5 minutes to go, and Andrew Voss is with New South Wales coach Phil Gould.
And Ray, I just want to find out what it's like to be in Phil Gould's shoes right now. What's it like?
It's very satisfying, mate. I mean, you come together with a group of people and you work hard. We don't get to spend a lot of time together, but what time we did spend was very much quality time, and you become very close. And you know, we've beaten a very high quality side in our last two games, and it's just a special moment. 80,000 people here, and it's bloody terrific.
And this New South Wales side, I mean, is it too early to talk about a clean sweep?
Well, I mean, that's the assignment. Now we're going to go to Brisbane and do a job up there, but the way we've trained, the way we've prepared ourselves, everything we've done suggests to me that they won't go up there and let themselves down.
Well done, Gus. Back to you, Rebs.
Thank you, Andrew. Steve Price is picked up and dumped on the ground, 20 metres out from his own line. Peter?
Well, I've got to say, Ray, Ben Kennedy's about to come back on. How some people who criticised Phil Gould and the way that he's prepared this side over previous weeks are feeling now. The results speak for themselves. If you speak to the players, they love playing under him. And all of that drama seemed a long time ago, but gee, there were some vocal people who now, I imagine, would have a whole lot to say.
I think the criticism has actually helped them, no doubt about it. It wasn't meant to help them. It was just people sniping away, but it's really brought them closer together. And look, we're not picking the man of the match tonight. The Australian selectors are picking it, but if there's been a better player out there than Sean Timmins, I think he's just been terrific tonight, Sean Timmins. Fantastic game by him. A lot of stars for the Blues, but he would have been my pick.
Here is Ricketson with an offload. And talking of Timmins, here he is with the ball. Now, players shape up to one another as Badeiras gives it to Kerr.
And the same too as earlier, Timmins and Crocker. I don't know what's happened out there, but no love lost as Johns looks for runners back on the inside, finds Timmins, and he's got a forward pass thrown to Johns.
You don't think they'll be exchanging Christmas cards, Peter?
Well, again, there's players that normally don't get personal with each other, and I didn't see the incident, but on a couple of occasions, that man and Michael Crocker have looked at each other and thought, well, will I throw one? And they've thought better of it.
Here's Brent Tate, picked up by Jamie Lyon, driven onto the ground. They've had a great personal duel out there, and quite obviously Jamie Lyon has had an outstanding game, and sometimes at the expense of his rival Brent Tate, the two young centres who probably will come together in the Australian side against the Kiwis late in July. Price, Berrigan drops it to the boot. Hegarty is showing a lot of speed down the left side, and Tahu beats him to it. Minicello finishes up with the dregs, but at the same time they were important because he had to shut down the play. It's gone wide for De Vere. He's been safe in everything he's done. There's Gordon Tallis, a face that depicts the feeling in the Queensland camp. They were so brave in Queensland, and when you analyse that game, there was reason to think that they were going to come here and be very competitive, very hard to beat tonight. But the Blues have been bristling and scoring some superb tries. Johns working the play again. Tahu down the right side, kicks for himself, looks for the regather, but he's beaten to the punch by a maroon jumper. Played by Darren Lockyer. Hegarty crosses the 20, takes the play infield. Just over a minute of time. Series 22 is about to be won by the Blues. Travis Norton, he's pulled down on the 40-metre line. The State of Origin scoreboard over 24 years is about to come all square.
Oh no, Ben Kennedy signals straight to the sideline. See there, carrying the left shoulder or left arm. And Michael Hagan, who is in the stands here tonight next to New coach Wayne Bennett. He's just had a very close look at that.
Well, it's a forlorn Ben Kennedy. He might not be celebrating as strongly as he might have liked. That looks like a very serious injury that he may have picked up. His whole career has been wracked with injuries. Huge punctuation marks right through this brilliant player's career. And this ball again goes to ground. It seems like they are just not meant to hold the football, even in the dying seconds of the game. And now Minicello takes it across and escapes the tackle of Norton, but he's put down by Crocker. The siren in the background. New South Wales have won Origin 2, a 27-4 victory. 5 tries and 3 goals and 1 field goal, up against 1 try for the Queenslanders. 27-4. It goes back to back with their win at Suncorp Stadium in Origin 1. That'll do me too. I never thought Phil Gould would feel that way inclined, particularly to Reg Reagan.
I think Reg liked it.
But back to the serious stuff. Now they have both won 10 series. They have both won 33 matches. And for 24 years, they've been gut-busting and bloodletting and confronting each other to finish up line ball after 24 long years since Senator Ron McAuliffe thought he had a good idea. He'd be so proud looking down at a crowd of 80,000 tonight. Darren Lockyer, what a hero in a beaten side, is with Andrew Voss, centre field.
Yeah, and Ray, I think the efforts of Darren Lockyer personified right to the last minute there, regathering the Tamana Tahu chip over the top. Darren, can you describe the pain of defeat tonight, the series lost?
No, it probably doesn't sink in till tomorrow. They're just too good, mate. They deserve their win.
So much was thrown in from the Queenslanders just into that first 10 minutes. I mean, some of the defence was ferocious, but there weren't points. It was as if, looking back, you needed to score to get some sort of domination there.
Yeah, they held on the ball really well the first half, and they were very patient. And they got a bit of luck with the first try, but the others, they pressured us into mistakes.
Darren, I'm sure the Queensland fans watching appreciate you sharing us some time, mate. I'll let you get to the rooms.
No worries. Thanks.
Darren Lockyer with Andrew Voss, and Paul Harrigan is down there now with Sean Timmins.
Certainly am. You're coming to this game a stopgap 5-8 and you've won the series. How's it feeling?
Mate, it's awesome. Last year, the way we finished last year was such a disappointment. And to come out here with the same side as last week, except Josh Berry, and win it down here in Sydney was unreal.
What about you personally? 2 years out of the game, been through some tough times. Does this make it all worthwhile?
For sure, this is what it's all about. Got me family and friends here watching, and it's awesome. I'm just so glad to be here.
Mate, and just finally, what's it like playing outside of Joey Johns?
Awesome, he's the best. I was that excited to play 5-8 outside him, and he makes my job a lot easier just playing outside him, and I'm just that glad we've won, so pumped.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks, Chief.
Son of a shearer from Kiama, Sean Timmins there talking to Paul Harrigan. And here is Luke Bailey now with Andrew Voss.
Yeah, another South Coast boy, Ray, South Coast of New South Wales. Luke Bailey, sensational game one. Could you get any better? Well, you probably have tonight. You must be so proud of your performance.
It's been good. It's been a great team performance. I mean, last week's win up there against the odds was great, but doing it here in front of a home crowd, wrap up the series, it's awesome.
What is the secret to winning State of Origin football? Is it as simple as run hard, tackle hard, or is there something extra there? Is there a secret ingredient?
I think it's just mental. You've got to prepare mental. I think Gus has done a great job with that. He's made sure we've been switched on. Even had a good win in first game. He's made sure we've been switched on. So, yeah, it's what.
I will ask you just about one piece of play in that game. One run in the first half, one in the second. I mean, you turned into Luke Bailey, centre three-quarter. Back to your schoolboy days.
Yeah, back to the centres, but once I've got the clear, I don't know what to do, so I'll stick up front.
Good on you, Luke. Well done tonight.
And there it is for Andrew Johns. The remains of, I guess, the Gatorade. Now the Chief is with another South Coaster, I do believe.
I certainly am. You're coming to this game with a broken eye socket. You toughed it out with the best of them. You must be happy you decided to play.
Yeah, Chief, I can't tell you how happy I am right now. It's just so relieving now that all the pressure's off and we come down here in front of 80,000 screaming Blue fans have got away with it. So I can't tell you how happy I am, and all the boys are just going to really soak this up because this is the best feeling. I can't tell you how good it feels.
How dominant a display was that by the forwards? You really, after the first 10 minutes, you really took it away.
I think you had to against the Queensland pack. You have a look at them. They're all world-class players, and we knew that as a forward pack that if we didn't raise the bar tonight and play right, we'd get blown away ourselves.
And again yourself, what about your last year and a half? Clive, the Churchill medal winner, the grand final, and now a series win. What's going on? How good's that?
Unbelievable, mate. Like I said, I can't tell you how happy I am, and I just really want to soak it all up, have fun.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks, Chief.
Paul Harrigan with Craig Fitzgibbon. And he probably typifies the courage that you have to play this game at this particular level. Well, they've dominated, haven't they? In 1 and 2, the Wizard Blues. Successful at Suncorp in 1. And they've added number 2 and the series here in Sydney in front of a capacity crowd. 27-4, New South Wales over Queensland. As we head to a break, we're back with more and Peter Sterling in just a moment.
The disappointment of last year's drawn series erased tonight at Telstra Stadium. 17 very happy Blues players and support staff revelling in this 27-4 victory over Queensland to wrap up this year's series. A great performance at Suncorp Stadium a fortnight ago, and they backed it up tonight with a fairly dominant performance. Certainly after the first 10-15 minutes, New South Wales looked to be on top and never headed. For the Blues, Tamana Tahu got a double, Anthony Minicello, Matt Gidley and Ben Kennedy got tries. Andrew Johns kicked 3 from 6 and a field goal. And for Queensland, sole try for Michael Crocker. He emulated what his teammate, Roosters teammate Anthony Minicello did in game 1, getting a try on debut. And that was the total points for Queensland on a disappointing night for them. Our man of the match, our VB man of the match, chosen by the Australian selectors this evening, is with Andrew Voss.
The $2,000 Victoria Bitter Man of the Match tonight, as voted by the national selectors, the New South Wales captain, Andrew Johns. Andrew, we heard in our opener to tonight's coverage, you talked about skippering a New South Wales side to a series victory. It's something you haven't achieved. Well, tell us, what is it like now?
Mate, it's been a hard build-up, but just the ultimate, mate. I haven't done this, just over the moon. Not for myself, but for the whole side. Everyone involved, you know, the sports staff, the coach, everyone. It's just a great team effort and unbelievable, mate.
We have now seen 160 minutes of football in this Origin series. I don't think you could ask more than what you could of the New South Wales team, the way they have performed.
Mate, we're always confident going in, especially the way Gus, you know, set the game plan. It really, you know, suited our style, and we're always really confident. It showed tonight. It was greasy conditions. We still got out there and scored points.
Well, just before I let you get back to the teammates, there was a kick from a restart just before half-time. 60 seconds out from the break, the 20-metre restart, you've kicked for line. It's gone in by half a centimetre. You gave your coach a heart attack, you know that?
Pretty arsey, mate. I thought it was out in the full myself, but very lucky it went in, and just one of those nights I think everything sort of fell into place.
And a big message to the fans here at Telstra Stadium tonight?
Mate, unbelievable. This is the sort of thing you remember for the rest of your life. You know, the crowd screaming. Thanks everyone for turning up, really appreciate it.
Well done, Andrew. As I say, national selectors have voted you, the Australian selectors, the $2,000 VB Man of the Match.
Thanks to VB and Channel 9, and I just want to say hello to my mates in Bali. G'day, how are you?
Well done, Joey.
Yeah, congratulations to Andrew Johns and to Phil Gould and all of his charges. I think the thing that I like most about Andrew Johns, apart from his vast array of skills, is that he loves what he does. He enjoys the 80 minutes out there, and I think that was probably something fairly evident, Fatty, with the New South Wales squad. They really, from day one, worked well together and looked like they were having a good time.
They did, and beautiful. I mean, Phil Gould, he got them in at camp nice and early, gave them a week. They said it was a very relaxed week. They've enjoyed themselves, a few days on the drink, and they came back into camp on the Monday, and it's been so intense, and we've seen the results tonight. Phil deserves congratulations. So do all the New South Wales players, no doubt about it.
I think a lot of it comes back to attitude, Fatty, and you know that Phil does work very hard at attitude and attitude control. And, you know, he's got a lot of criticism over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it comes out and you're up 2-0 in a series. You know, it does come back to attitude and your mental approach into these big games, and that's what we get tonight.
Yeah, congratulations to the Blues. A thoroughly deserving win tonight. They totally outclassed the Maroons. Unfortunately for us, I suppose it's good for New South Wales and winning on their home territory to wrap the series up 2-0, but disappointing if you come from north of the border.
Now, we do have a third game coming up, of course, and that's very important. A lot of people look upon it as a dead rubber, but if you are a Queensland player, you do not want to look back at the end of your career knowing that you're involved in one of the rare whitewashes in Origin football.
Absolutely, Peter. Every state of Origin is as important as the next one or the last one. And I've been involved as a player in 1985. We saw Steve Mortimer earlier when they won that series. They led 2-0, went to Lang Park for the third one and won that. We had plenty to play for. And as a coach, even in 1997, we got beaten 2-0, came down to Sydney and won that one to make it 2-1. Every game means so much. Don't worry about that.
And a great sign there. We see Ben Kennedy walking around, so hopefully he hasn't picked up a serious injury. And the beaming face of young Phil Bailey, pretty much picked from obscurity, although his form's been good. Like, he will remember this.
That's what sport offers, and you know how lucky he is, Phil. Just actually achieving this and experiencing it at the moment is why you do all the hard work.
He did play his role in the teams tonight, didn't he, Phil? He did some good things out there for the Blues, and they just capped off a good win with a really good performance.
I mean, Minicello's been a star. How good has he been in the fullback role? It's almost like he's been playing Origin all of his life. Robbie Kearns, the veteran, he did his job. Luke Bailey, a new Origin star. He's just played sensationally the last couple of games. They all did their. Brian Fletcher was good when he was on there early before succumbing to, of course, that hamstring injury.
Well, speaking of Phil Bailey, I think Andrew Voss has grabbed the Cronulla utility player down on the sidelines.
Yeah, this is some sort of moment for Phil Bailey. kid from Inverell, State of Origin lap of honour.
Mate, Bossy, this is like, you sit at home, when you're a little kid playing like minor league and that sort of stuff, it's an old cliche, but everyone dreams of it, but then when you're out here, it just seems like a million miles away. It's the best feeling ever.
Well, how stupid are you getting Shane Webke nice and angry tonight?
Yeah, I don't know, it was just, I was sitting on the bench there for 60 minutes, and at half-time, Gus, all he talked about was just like not being the one to let Queensland back in with that big spirit and that, and I just blew up a bit when I got out there. It was good fun, but...
All right, Phil. It's a funny definition of good fun. Thanks for your time. Boys, I will just tell you, Ben Kennedy, it was a neck problem. He felt a click in the neck, but he thinks he'll be okay.
And for all of you young players watching at home, you put the head down, get the boots out over the years, and you try to get here because we can tell you from experience, you're playing rugby league, this is where you want to be at some stage in your career. There's Ben Kennedy.
Only preferably still with a maroon jersey on, not a blue one.
I mean, I imagine the Queensland players are hurting at the moment. I thought not a great performance tonight by Queensland. They seem to be bereft of ideas as to how to break the New South Wales defence. Maybe let's congratulate New South Wales on their defence. Their defensive pattern was good. They didn't miss too many tackles. They were just too good, too classy in this State of Origin series in 2003.
Yeah, you know, if you concede only one try, you're going to win the football game. A big performance tonight from the Newcastle players as well. I think they contributed 23 out of the 27 points. As we have a look at some of the performances, and Bailey was again simply superb.
Well, he was great. I mean, for all the 80,000 people that turned up here tonight, you know, Stephen Price also played well. That one run that Luke Bailey made, that he ran 50 metres, is worth the admission price.
That was a great run, wasn't it? That's all about Origin football. That was a lot of impact at the line. Luke Bailey, he had a great game tonight, and you need that. I think when you talk about performances, you need, before games, you want every individual to play well, and I think every New South Wales player out there will be very proud about their efforts.
Oh, that's the big thing, I think, Ricky. If you have a look through the players that they've used, all have pretty much played close to their best of their ability. Luke Ricketson, again, another huge work rate. I don't think he had a break tonight. Racked up almost 40 tackles. Sivanaseva, I thought, hit hard tonight. Fitzgibbon, Webke and Norton all contributed in the tackling department. And there we see the metres gained by both sides, and at the end a fairly substantial margin in favour of the Blues. So the forwards got the job done.
I think you look, sorry, Kel, I think you look there and you see that the ball was controlled a lot more, completed sets of 6 by New South Wales, and there you see more metres gained. So, it came down to the end result. You're trying to complete your sets of 6 and not drop so much football.
I guess one disappointment tonight, no Josh Perry. Feel a little bit for Josh, obviously suspended coming into this game, and they would have gone with the same 17. Put you on the spot, Kev. Will we see the same 17 for Queensland, do you think? Would he persevere, Wayne Bennett, with this side name tonight?
No, I think he'll make some changes. I think it's a good opportunity to blood some players. Hopefully we get a couple of guys back from injury who are missing from this game tonight. But, as Paddy said earlier, the match-up at Suncorp Stadium is a great chance for some young Queenslanders to show their true worth in front of their home crowd. I know there's one person in Queensland who will be there. I'll be there for sure. I'm looking forward to the match. We can bounce back, make it 2-1, let's get something out of the series.
Well, we do have to wait 3 weeks for that, and we'll be back after the break to Telstra Stadium to wrap up our coverage this evening. New South Wales are the 2003 State of Origin champions. 25-12 they won at Suncorp a couple of weeks ago, and they backed it up with another fine performance here at Telstra Stadium, 27 points to 4. But for all the excitement and jubilation in victory, there is also the disappointment of defeat, and Andrew Voss is with the big prop forward, Shane Webke.
Yes, Peter, Shane Webke's been good enough to spare us some time in what is obviously a very solemn Queensland dressing room. What hurts most tonight, Shane? The performance of the team? There was a lot of drop ball, the scoreboard, or the fact the series is now lost?
Well, it's a combination of all of it, isn't it? Probably our own performance, taking nothing away from New South Wales, they played very well, but our own execution was very poor tonight, and I think that was probably a telling factor. I don't think New South Wales really had to get out of their comfort zone. We never put any repeat sets on them or anything like that, purely because we didn't execute our own plays well enough, and consequently, we kept coming up with mistakes and kept turning the ball over to them. They had all the attack.
What's the message then for Game 3? I mean, you're staring down the barrel of series whitewash, but it would be in your own backyard, if you know what I mean, at Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah, well, we've not had a happy hunting ground at a brand new stadium. So, you know, perhaps it's time we turn that around. And you know, we don't want to lose this series 3-0. We've lost it 2-0 as it stands now, so the series is gone. But to salvage a bit of pride, you know, particularly because it is at home, and naturally New South Wales will want to go up there and finish the job off properly. So I think you're still going to see a very spirited third game. We're playing for pride and they're playing for a 3-0 whitewash.
All right, Shane, thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely plenty to play for, and tonight the ledger has been squared. We pointed it out on a couple of occasions. 33 victories each, 2 draws in there, and 10 series wins. And as I said earlier, it is quite remarkable that after all of these years, it is that close, and it pretty much has been that way from game number 1. Guys, just a final summation tonight as we do look forward to State of Origin number 3. Kev, how did you see things?
Well, it's disappointing from a Queensland point of view, but being Queensland as Fatty and I are, and you know, I know that game 3 is on in a couple of weeks' time. We'll be back with vengeance, hopefully with a victory.
Yeah, New South Wales are far too good tonight, too classy. They played very well. Queensland will be back, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say. Yeah, we'll be back.
He doesn't quite say it like that, I don't think.
I hope not, no.
Well, sort of.
Ricky, I don't know how you follow that, but what have you got?
Mate, I can just see we're knocking on the door for a whitewash.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your company again tonight.
Thanks,
we'll
Pete.
do it again in
Thanks,
3 weeks'
fella.
time.
See you, boys.
But before that, well, tonight we had 35 gladiators on show, and the odd man out was Russell Crowe, who started the coverage. And if you want to see him and his 30-odd foot of grunt, Alice Springs, Friday, July, up in Darwin, Coffs Harbour the 19th, Townsville, Capella, Gladstone, working their way down from Queensland, Surfers Paradise, 1st of August, Yamba, Foster, Mildura, Griffith and Albury, so plenty of opportunity to see his band and the footy show. An extensive Origin wrap-up tomorrow night. Reg Reagan will make an appearance, and Chief of the Knights players. He'll be an injured young player. That's a very interesting story and a sad one as well. 9:30 p.m. live. And Friday night to kick off round 16. It's a tough week for the Broncos. They take on the reigning premiers, the Sydney Roosters. Our coverage from 8:30 p.m. That's at Suncorp Stadium. And on Sunday we go out to Penrith, where the high-flying Panthers will take on the Bulldogs. They've now won 3 in a row, so both sides in good form. That's from 4 p.m. And of course, don't forget State of Origin number 3. 21 sleeps to go. The Maroons looking to avoid a series whitewash. The Blues, well, that's what they're aiming for. Live and exclusive here on Channel 9. And later on tonight, day 3 continues of the championships live from Wimbledon in London. Coverage up very, very shortly. Once again, thanks to your company tonight. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. A dominant performance from New South Wales tonight, 27-4. But the Maroons will be back. Until next time, on behalf of our entire crew from the Telstra Stadium, we wish you a very good night.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.